WROP 867 on the air monitoring, looking for a radio test. Anybody available for a radio test? Anybody available for a radio test? So we're on our way to Buffalo, and we've done this trip many times. We tried using GMRS on Simplex when we traveled once, and that didn't work out great. So this time we're doing it on Duplex. I've got repeaters programmed in from our house in Western Massachusetts all the way to Buffalo. There's 5 repeaters. I've got them all programmed into this radio, and I just did that radio call to see if I could get anybody locally on stage 1 of our trip. It's Thursday morning. There's nobody replied, obviously, but we did hit the repeater. So I'm going to call this a success, even though we didn't reach anybody. Angela's with me, but she's inside. We stopped to get some road snacks for the trip. It's a 5.5-hour trip. So if you go on to mygmrs.com, there's actually an app, or you can log in from your computer, and you create an account. You can find local repeaters in your area or along your travel route. I went in ahead of time, and I have permission to operate on all of the repeaters. All of them, except for the one that I just tried to do the radio call on, are free and open. The one that I just tried, you need to have permission from the repeater owner. So what I did is, when I found all the repeaters, I put them on a spreadsheet, and I've got them labeled Buffalo 1 through 5. So as we go stages through this trip, I'll just swap different frequencies along the way, and then we'll just reverse it on the way back. But so far so good. I was able to hit the repeater on the first leg of the trip, and we'll continue on. I usually use Google Maps, but today we're using the Waze app. We'll see how this works. Also, with the new 4Runner, I have Apple CarPlay, so we're using that today, which puts the navigation right on the screen. Technology. Alright, I'm going to say we're at stage 2. We just stopped at the rest area. And I'm going to say we're at stage 2, so if I look at my spreadsheet, I'm going to try the next repeater, which is on GMRS 22 repeater. See if I can get anybody to talk back to me. WROP 867 on air monitoring, looking for a radio test. Anybody out there can give me a radio test? Alright, once again I'm hitting the repeater, but there's nobody there to talk back. It is Thursday. It is Thursday, it's around noontime. I guess we'll move on to the next one. We're on the third leg of our trip, and the repeater that I had programmed in not working. So I was able to find another repeater that's wide open with no tone code, so I'm going to give that a try. WROP 867 on the air monitoring, looking for a radio test. Nobody wants to talk to me again, babe.
It's crazy. They're missing out.
Alright, once again I hit the repeater, but there's nobody talking. We're going to be stopping to get some gas here in about 15 minutes, and then we'll go on to stage 4.
So, my fellow Americans, ask not what your country can do for you, ask what you can do for your country.
We just stopped and got gas, and we're on the fourth leg of this journey, but things got a little sporty. Not sure if you can see it or not, but we got snow coming. So we're on I-90 heading towards Buffalo, and it's snowing. So we've seen a couple of plow trucks staged already. We'll keep pressing on. Stage 4 of our trip has been eventful but uneventful. It was eventful because we had a little bit of snow there at the beginning. That's since cleared out. Uneventful because I haven't been able to reach the repeater that I programmed into the radio. That's a little disappointing, and I'm still out of range for the next repeater. We're about an hour away from our destination, so we'll just keep going along. Alright, stage 5, we're getting near Buffalo. We're gonna be banging a right here pretty soon, shooting up 290 to Niagara Falls. And I've got the repeater programmed in here, so we're going to give it a try and see if we can get a radio check today. It'd be nice if somebody would talk to us, but we'll give it a try. WROP 867 on here, monitoring, looking for a radio check. Anybody available for a radio check? Bueller. Honestly. Alright, so far stage 4 was the only part of this trip where we couldn't hit the repeater that we programmed. So whether that repeater is offline for whatever reason, I don't know. You can only go off what's on the website or the app, and so that's what I did. Like I said, all of these repeaters are open and free to anybody that wants to use them, except for one that I have. So I don't know. We'll try it again. Anybody out there for a radio check? We have heard some other stuff on the radio today. I heard a couple guys loading salt trucks. Heard what sounded like a drive-through or something like that. But we haven't made any contacts today, so that's kind of disappointing. We're also monitoring the CB, and there's been a little chit-chat there, especially when we hit that little spot of weather. There was some discussion about visibility, but that was about it. Well, we'll continue on. We're about 30 minutes from our destination, and we'll give it a try one more time before we get there. All right, that's enough of that nonsense. We made it to Buffalo. We made it to our destination. We didn't make a contact the entire way. We didn't make a contact while we were there. I tried a bunch of different repeaters. No luck. So when I made my first video, when we traveled out there and we used Simplex, I had a lot of comments, people saying you have to use repeaters. I'm pretty familiar with how repeaters work, so that wasn't an issue. So I just, like you saw, I put them in my radio, put the tone codes in there, and we were able to hit the repeaters, but there's still nobody to talk to. There's nobody on GMRS to talk to unless you have friends. So if you're traveling with a friend, if you both have GMRS radios, great. You've got somebody to talk to. GMRS couldn't be better for that if you're traveling with a friend. If you're looking for road reports, GMRS won't work for you. CB will, but even that is a little bit limited. We used the Waze app this time, and it was super easy just to look on the Waze app, and it would give you an alert. Construction ahead, police officer ahead. I don't know if you've ever used the Waze before, but I would drive. Angela was running the touchpad, and if we saw something was still there, you just click on still there, and the next person behind you gets alerted, and so on and so forth. So the Waze app, if you're looking for traffic updates, I don't think you can beat the Waze app. That's pretty functional, pretty intuitive to use, and it's pretty accurate. The CB radio, well, we ran into some snow along the way on our way back, and we really didn't hear a lot of chit chat. We did hear some on the way out when we hit that little snowstorm and the visibility got right down, but on the way back, we were at a standstill at one point. There was a car off the road. The state police were there, and still no chit chat on the CB radio. So CB radio, I guess, is still. I mean, there's plenty of people talking on CB, and I know I don't have the best radio, and I know I don't have the best antenna. You've all told me that. But I'm really only looking to talk on CB for local stuff, and I don't even hear any of that there. We monitored all the channels. We monitored channel 19 mainly, but the radio that we have also scans, and we scanned all 40 CB channels, and we heard a lot of distant stuff. Whether it's skip or not, I don't know, but we heard a lot of stuff off in the distance, people talking, a lot of nonsense, a lot of static. So I've come to the conclusion that GMRS is a great system, just not for traveling. So if you're traveling with a friend, bring a GMRS radio. You'll have somebody to talk to the whole way. But if you're looking for people out there on the highway to make contact with, you're going to have a harder time than you would think you would, especially with all these repeaters. If you made it to the end of the video, I appreciate you. You are better than most. I appreciate you taking the time to watch the video. I hope you enjoyed it, and I hope I'll see you in the next video. Thanks for watching.